Hello, I'm Marc Leavesley and I'm a professional paraglider pilot with over 30 years flying experience. I've flown all over the world doing competitions and teaching people to fly. In this series I'm going to be showing you many of my hints and tips to help you have a better flying experience. I hope you enjoy. Okay, side landings. So I'm going to do what I did with the Cobra launches and show you a little bit indoors before we go up onto the hill. So we make this our little hill with our little toy. So let's start with the wind coming straight up the hill. So when you've arrived on site, the wind is perfectly on the hill, but it's very light wind. So, which means when you take off and you're getting lower and lower each beat you do, because the wind is square on the hill, what wind there is, it means you can do a side landing from right to left or left to right. Doesn't matter. If the wind, and this is really important, if the wind is coming slightly off the hill, so if it's coming slightly this way up the hill, you must get that in your head before you start the day's flying, that the wind is slightly coming from right to left or from left to right. It makes a big difference for your side landing, because if the wind is coming this way, you absolutely must, when you're getting low, do your side landing on the crabbing into wind leg, so there's less of a turnout for the flare. Do not do it this way, because you're not just going crosswind, you're going cross slightly downwind, and you're coming really fast and hard. It'll be more of a crash landing. So figure out when you arrive on site which direction the wind is coming. So if you arrive on site and the wind is coming slightly up from the left hand side, you would coming on the crabbing leg right to left, and then you've only got to turn to here for your flare, and vice versa. So it's coming slightly up from the right, so we're going to do an interwind crabbing leg and then slightly turn out for the landing here. That's really important. So if it's square on, you can do it either way, and if it's coming up one way or the other, you've got to do it on that crabbing interwind leg. So what I do on a side landing, which I'll show you when we go up on the hill, if it's light wind, but perhaps I'm going to either give it a risk and try and ridge soar, I know it's a bit light, or maybe I've even seen a buzzard thermaling or a bird of prey thermaling, and I've took off and I've gone for it and I've tried to thermal and it's not working, rather than landing right the way down in the valley and having a huge walk back up, and probably while I'm down there my friends take off and go to cloud base and go cross country, which is annoying. What I would do is I'd give it a go, and as I'm getting lower, the wind is bang on the hill, dead square. I think the crux of a good side landing is you come off to the side, and when you get to this position, I know I'm about to turn and come back, I spot myself, I choose myself a spot where I'm going to land. So here I'm looking right, I'm already looking right to where roughly I'm going to come. So I've got my idea of my landing zone, and then as I do the turn, I stand up. So I'm standing up now, I'm already in the standing up position, and then as you turn, it's not straight across the ridge as if you're ridge soaring. You've actually got to come, it's a little bit scary and it's all down to timing, but it's all about the turn, and you actually go past the ridge soaring position here to slightly at the grass, at the hill position here, and as you swoop towards the hill, you know the wind is bang on the hill, what wind there is. You've got to try and send the glider out. So in this case, it would be my left brake. So as I've done the turn here, and here's my landing zone, as I've done my turn, coming slightly at the hill, and then as I flare, it's left brake first to make the glider sort of carve this way, and then it's right hand and I'll be down. You've got to try and carve the glider to that position, send the glider into what wind there is. It makes a huge difference for touchdown. So it's the turn. I'm looking where my landing spot is, and I'm standing up now. Because as you move from sitting to standing, the glider will actually pitch and go a bit quicker. It will move forward a bit quicker. You don't want to do the turn and then do it. You want to be doing it nice and early here. So as you're turning, you're standing up. You've spotted your zone, your landing zone, slightly at the hill. And then as the ground gets closer and closer, maybe 2 or 3 foot, it's left brake and then right brake, and you're down. So I'll go and show you some of that on the hill now. Don't forget to hit that button and subscribe, guys. Cheers. Okay, side landing. So I've made my mind up. I'm going to come from left to right. So here comes the turn, stand up early. Here comes the turn, speed, 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 left arm, left arm, left arm, flare. So my left arm is what's sending the glider out to the wind window. So I'm going to take off and go to the right. I'm going to come down towards the camera and I'm going to land from left to right. Now, as you're coming to do a side landing, it's really important to flare, whichever side you're coming in at the hill, you flare starting with the outer brake to turn the glider away from the hill. So on this side landing, it's going to be left brake before the flare, like this. So I'm going to come to you. Typically the wind has picked up. Okay, so I'm going to turn back at the camera. Just lose a bit more altitude. Okay, here we go. So you turn in for your side landing, coming towards the hill slightly, stand up early. Here comes the ground, left hand before both hands come in. So it's going to be left hand now, left hand, then followed by right hand. So the left hand is sending the glider straight out into the wind window. You're side landing because there's not a lot of wind, but what wind there is will help you flare. And that's the crux of doing a good side landing. We'll do another one. Okay, again. So same pattern. I'm going to take off, come towards you on the camera, coming from left to right. As the hill is coming towards me, I'll move out with the left brake, followed by the right brake. Okay, so I've made my mind up, I'm getting low, I want a side land. I've made my mind up, I'm going to do it coming left to right. So I'm looking for my landing zone now, looking right, stand up, here's the turn, lots of speed, speed, watch the left hand, watch the left hand, now, left hand, right hand, boom, do another one. Okay, so here we go, dead low this time. Again, made my mind up, I'm going to do it coming left to right. So here's the turn, stand up, turn towards the hill slightly, get ready for the left hand, left hand, left hand, now left hand, right hand. So what's important is whenever you come to a hill and you need to feel if the wind is bang on the hill square, if the wind is coming slightly off the hill, you want to be doing your side landings on the crabbing run into the wind. If the wind is bang on the hill but only light and you're giving it a try and you're getting low, you can land from either direction, right or left. This particular hill, because of the shape of it, it's steep this side and it's shallower to the left. It's just easier to show you on the camera coming from this direction. I'll tell you what I'll do one from right here on this low bit section. I'll launch, I'll go left and I'll come straight back to the camera. So I'll just show you another one, just wait for this pilot and I'll show you another one. Here we go, so I'll take off. I'm going to go left and come straight back to you. So off to the left, back to the right, stand up, slightly towards the hill, left hand, right hand, boom. So So you're turning the glider into what wind there is. If you don't turn the glider to what wind there is, I'm not going to demonstrate it, but you'll end up ploughing into the hill. And this is why people say it's really hard to side land. Sorry, I've just spotted a thermal. I'll be back in a minute. So I'm coming back towards the hill. A little bit light, this wind. This is going to be a bit tighter because I'm coming towards the hill at a different angle. So here we go. Look for the landing spot. Slightly towards the hill, stand up, lots of speed, lots of speed, lots of speed. Get ready for the left arm, right arm. And that's it. If you master that in your head, you've got to turn out that last second before the flare. What a lot of people do, in fact I'll risk it, I'll show you what most people do. It could give you a laugh. Okay, so I'll do what most people do, and you'll notice how much faster the landing will be. I'll try not to fall over. So most people do a side landing by flying along the ridge. So they'll be coming in and they'll actually be flying along the ridge. So basically they're ridge soaring, getting lower and lower. The trouble with this is, watch how much faster the landing is. And it's harder to stop. Do it again, I'll do that again. So here we go, I'll do it again. So this is what most people do as a side landing. Straight across the hill. Look at the speed of me. Look, whoa, and it's a lot more rushed. Whereas if you do the send the glider out slightly, it's a much softer, slower landing. Very low this time. Left hand, watch. Not yet. Now, left hand, right hand. And that's it. That's the side landing. That is the absolute crux of doing a good side landing. It's all about that send out with your left hand if you're coming in from left to right, or your right hand if you're coming the other way. You're sending the glider out to the wind. If you don't do that, you're not really, it is a side landing, but it's more of a side ridge soaring crash landing. Send the glider to the wind as you flare and you'll just stand up. It really works well. I'll do one more. So what I'll do this time is I'll go off and do a ridge soaring flight and then come back at the camera and show you another one. If you imagine it's windy now and you actually want to land a bit lower, you go right side of the hill and come in and do a side landing lower down rather than do a windy top landing. So if the wind's picked up, I'll show you that. Okay, the microphone started to play up at this section. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to push off the side of the hill and I'm going to push out the front of the hill. And I'm going to do a windy approached side landing like this. Not across the hill, I'm coming slightly at the hill, but you must be ready to turn out. It's all about turning out to the left. So stand up early, speed, loads of speed, coming up the hill. I'm gently turning away from the hill a tad now, not too much, otherwise you'll go up again. Here we go, left hand, right hand. So that's a nice one if it's windy and you want to land here rather than on the top and get dragged, or you're worried about getting dragged. So it's the same as a side landing, but we just go a lot further out to the side of the hill. And we keep looking back at the point where we want to land, and then we come on in. It's sort of at the hill, it's not fully at the hill, it's not facing the hill, but you're coming back at this sort of an angle. And then as you get close, a little bit of turn out, only a bit. If you turn out like that, you'll get ridge soaring. Watch the left hand, here we go. Now, left hand, right hand. And there's hardly any wind now. Oh, sorry camera woman. Yeah, there you go. And now it's probably blowing 4 miles an hour. So it's all about, as you come toward the hill, it's all about that turn out as you flare. But it's literally, as you can see from the video, the left hand comes in when my feet are about 3 foot from the hill. If you turn out too soon, you'll just go back off and end up going lower and lower. So it's not across the hill as if you're ridge soaring. It's slightly at the hill. So there's ridge soaring, there's side landing. So you're coming this way to the last 2 or 3 foot, and then it's left hand and land. And you'll nail them doing it that way. Cheers guys, don't forget to subscribe.